What is going on, guys? Welcome to the Wrestling Time channel. Now, the ratings are in and people are talking. No, we're not talking about WWE's ratings dive, but the big reveal for ratings of key wrestlers in WWE 2K20. Join us now as we look at the wrestlers' ratings and question whether they should be higher or lower, and did they change from WWE 2K19? Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more videos like this. Now, 2K Games released several WWE Superstars ratings via YouTube channel Up Down Down. There's also been a few reveals on Instagram and Twitter, but let's waste no further time and get into the first one, which is Roman Reigns, who has an overall score of 92. Now, the big dog was unhappy at his 92 ratings, largely because he was rated 92 last year, and he said he feels he's improved. However, giving Reigns a 92 compared to other legends is typical WWE, portraying its current stars as superior to past stars. It's a trend we'll see throughout the stars whose ratings were revealed. Number 2, Bray Wyatt with 86. Now, The Fiend is one of the most anticipated superstars for fans to get their hands on in virtual form, and it's definitely possible he's one of the superstars that many will try first. Maybe demonstrating what should have gone down at Hell in a Cell 2019 against Seth Rollins, but this time winning the Universal Championship. The Fiend has an overall rating of 86, which is not too bad, but perhaps they didn't take into account his supernatural abilities, but he's still up 3 points more from last year's game. Number 3, Hulk Hogan with 92. Although Hulk Hogan's in-ring skills were always secondary to his physique and tremendous charisma, his ratings in any wrestling game should reflect this with a high score. Simply put, Hogan's 92 should be higher, as he was rarely pinned or submitted in his heyday of the 1980s and 1990s. Let's not forget he was one of the biggest stars in wrestling history. But Hogan hasn't been in since 2K15, so we can't compare him from last year's game. Number 4, Ric Flair with 90. Unlike Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair suffered more losses, but his in-ring generalship and ability to work 5-star matches with a variety of opponents, as well as his numerous World Championship reigns, puts him on the shortlist of any serious wrestling fan compiling a top 3 list of the best of the best. Like Hulk Hogan, Flair's rating should be higher if WWE 2K20 wants to establish its credibility when it comes to rating wrestlers. Ric Flair's explanation for his lower rating than Hogan or Sting has some truth to it, the idea that Flair is an older performer than Hogan and Sting. Oddly though, Flair has lost a point since WWE 2K19. Number 5, Becky Lynch with 90. Last year, the man's WWE 2K rating was 83, with the current Raw Women's Champion making a huge 7-point jump to 90. Lynch seemed happy with her rating, particularly compared to WWE legends such as Trish, Lita and Chyna. Claiming to be the greatest women's wrestler of all time, which is debated, Lynch was happy with her status and even happier when she learned there are no wrestlers ranked at 100. Number 6, Kofi Kingston with 90. Hashtag KofiMania. It finally happened as the man who has been busting his butt in the WWE for so long finally got some recognition, becoming WWE Champion in one of the WWE's biggest success stories ever at WrestleMania 35. Whether or not you believe he was a good enough champion is a matter of opinion, but he's coming in 2K20 strong with a 90 overall, 6 more points since WWE 2K19, which is a huge difference. Number 7, Seth Rollins with 92. Given that he's the Universal Champion, it's no surprise that he joins the ranks of Reigns and Hulk Hogan as one of the highest rated superstars on the roster. Rollins has gained 4 points from last year's game. Number 8, Trish Stratus with 87. The WWE Hall of Famer who brought Stratusfaction to her fans not only blazed a trail for today's generation of female superstars, but underwent an amazing journey in the process, transitioning from a manager to an all-round top performer in the ring. While Becky Lynch's score of 90 may be well deserved, although some fans may question how much of the 90 rating is marketing due to the WWE's monster push of Lynch as opposed to overall ability, there is no reason Stratus shouldn't be equal or greater than Lynch's score. She gains 2 points from last year's game. Number 9, Lita with 86. Lita's role in women's wrestling, while perhaps not as great as Trish Stratus, was still fairly close, making her score of 86 acceptable in relation to Trish's 87, but unacceptable as both she and Trish warrant a higher rating based on their skills in the ring and their numerous women's championships. Again, like Stratus, she goes up by 2 points. Number 10. Charlotte Flair with 87. Now Flair just lost the SmackDown Women's Championship to Bayley on this week's episode of SmackDown, but that should take nothing away from her accomplishments in WWE overall, being the most decorated champion in women's history with 10 title reigns. But does this reflect her overall rating with 87? Let us know in the comments down below. But Charlotte last year was 85 overall, meaning she gets 2 additional points this year. Number 11. Sasha Banks with 80. This rating in our opinion is criminal. How on earth is Sasha Banks only an 80? Now she shouldn't be higher than champion Becky Lynch, but a true rating should see her between 85 to 88. Banks was also scathing at the rating and took to Twitter to say, 80? That's why I said no to your stupid commercial at WWE Games. This year's game sees her lose a point from last year's, which baffles us. Number 12. Chyna with 87. As someone who not only broke barriers in women's wrestling but broke barriers for women in all of wrestling, Chyna is underrated as both a woman and an overall performer. Chyna's records as the first woman in the Royal Rumble and the first woman in the King of the Ring are impressive, but nowhere as impressive as her winning the Intercontinental Championship or becoming the #1 contender for the WWF Championship. If Becky Lynch is 90, Chyna deserves an equal or higher rating. We can't compare her score from last year as he hasn't been in a video game for 19 odd years. Number 13. Sting with 91. WCW's franchise player Sting spent most of his career in WCW and had a solid career there, but nowhere close to the success of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, who performed in WCW and the WWF, as well as other promotions. Sting should be rated as an 89 or 90, even if Flair is rated several points higher. In last year's game, he was 90. Number 14. AJ Styles with 91. The current US champion deserves a strong rating, and he gets it with 91. His score remains the same as last year. Number 15. Adam Cole with 84. Current NXT champion Adam Cole was in full arrogant heel mode when he asked whether his ratings would be higher or lower than WWE Superstars Triple H and Shawn Michaels. As NXT champion, Cole's ratings is impressive for someone not yet on the main roster and may reflect just how much potential the WWE sees in him. Naturally, Cole ranked himself as higher than Triple H or Michaels, noting Triple H never held the NXT championship, but Cole was somewhat more understanding with Michaels' rating, praising HBK for being such an inspiration. He goes up by 4 points since 2K19. Number 16. Johnny Gargano with 84. He was the first to have his rating revealed by 2K, and he shares the same rating as current NXT champion Adam Cole. He's also up 4 points from last year. Number 17. Triple H with 89. Triple H's rating is about the most accurate rating in WWE 2K20 so far. While Helmsley had a solid WWE career, his rating should be below Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair's, and even if Hogan and Flair's ratings were upgraded, we'd have them at 95 each, Helmsley shouldn't be higher than a 92. He stays the same as last year. Number 18. Shawn Michaels with 88. Although the Heartbreak Kid hasn't been an active competitor for years, his status as one of the greatest performers in WWE history makes it questionable as to his 88 rating. We have to rank Michaels higher than his DX stablemate Triple H, and while their skills are close, the game is no showstopper. Michaels' career is perhaps the closest fans will ever find that of Ric Flair from HBK's heyday, but Mr. WrestleMania's rating stays the same. And number 19, Brock Lesnar with 93. The Beast Incarnate and current WWE Champion currently has the highest overall rating in the game with 93. No surprise there, but at least he hasn't gone higher from previous year. Now there are still a large number of ratings to examine, but the selection revealed so far makes it clear 2K focused more on promoting whomever WWE saw as its most marketable characters, rather than spending time realistically assessing each wrestler's place in history. Now this is nothing new in wrestling games, but it must be seen as a negative in what so far has looked to be one of the better WWE games in recent memory. What do you guys think of the scores? Be sure to leave your comments down below, subscribe if you haven't already, follow us on Instagram, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling video game content.